Okay, so today we're going to be playing through an encounter in Deus Ex Human Revolution, the director's cut for Wii U. So let's hop right into it. So right away, we start in this hallway, and this is near the beginning of the game, right when some more advanced enemies are starting to appear more often. So we enter into this room, and there's stealth mechanics, so you can see we can kind of hide behind these boxes. There's quite a few different types of enemies in this room, which allows for a lot of different varieties of ways that you can go about this. So there's these sort of patrol type grunt enemies, which you can see walking around and monitoring the area. And then there's some sort of long-range enemies, which have they have like sort of lasers which they use to find the player. They're kind of up above; you can't really see them right now. And then there's also these turrets. You can see those camera-looking things on the green platform. So in Deus Ex, there's about 3 different ways that you can go about playing the game, and you can use a mixture of them, but the 3 different ways are combat, stealth, and hacking. So this encounter allows for any of those 3 to be used, which is why it allows a lot of choices for the player. And as you can see, there's also a lot of different opportunities for flanking. The environment kind of loops around back on itself, and there's a lot of different things the player can do here. So, and as you can see, sight lines, you can see there's some of the enemies over here. They're just standing around. This enemy's doing some patrol. There's some patrolling enemies up here. This is a pretty dangerous situation for the player. So I'll try to engage in some combat-based gameplay here. But this is the type of gameplay which my player is the least suited for, so this will probably not go too well. But let's try it. So I would say if you're using a combat-based character, probably the best way to go about this is to try to flank. Yeah, this is not going to work for it. Yeah, that did not go very well. But basically the idea of combat is that you charge in and try to take out as many enemies as you can. And you have guns, but you also have melee attacks. And generally, since I'm more stealth focused, I tend towards the melee attacks since they don't waste ammo. One issue with this game is the loading times are a little bit longer, but should load in a second here. So as you can see, the goal would have been to sort of stealth my way up until I can attack the higher enemies, and then to try to snipe the enemies that were down below with my tranquilizer rifle, which I can take out here. But I'll put that away since we don't need it. So next I'll try a stealth approach. Looks like everything's safe, and you can see one great thing to do for a stealth approach is they have some grates, I guess, vents here that the player could use to kind of sneak around, and you can see you can get some experience and stuff from that as well. So there's a lot of different places the player can kind of go through these vents. So let's try looking at one of them. And I won't play through the whole encounter here because it's fairly long. But to sneak around, so I just turned invisible. Yeah, I got caught. I'd have to be a lot more careful in order to actually succeed. But I'll just try again. Yeah, I'm not really showing off the gameplay very well here, but you could sneak around using the vents and using invisibility. But then the third option is hacking, which I'll show next. So in this game there's a variety of objects which can be hacked, including cameras, turrets, and robots. So this is the part of the game where there's starting to be more turrets and robots. So you could see there's turrets in that room, and I'll show you how to hack them in a second here. So yeah, I'm not I really gotta apologize for my gameplay because that was terrible, but I hope you can understand how a player could go through it that way. And then I'll go hacking. So basically you can just access these computers, which are sort of control hubs in the game for the turrets and other robotic enemies. So you can see the turrets have 3 states: default, disable, and enemies. So if I place them in the enemy state, then they will actually turn against their enemies. And you can hear the turrets shooting at the enemies. I don't know if you guys heard that. So you can let them try to take down those enemies. And they'll kind of beat them. And then you can try to take down some of these remaining enemies. So the turrets are super helpful, obviously, in this situation, since they took out most of the enemies for me. Not sure how many enemies are left. There you can see there's the ranged enemies up there, which I wasn't able to show before. But you can see they're kind of on alert now. So let me try to sneak up. And you can see they have sort of dialogue options as well. The enemy dialogue is really cool in that it lets the player know like what the enemies are planning to do and such. But you can see there's quite a bit of interesting gameplay options. And yeah, that's basically the gist of this level from Deus Ex, or this encounter rather, from Deus Ex Human Revolution. The director's cut.